We're looking at the P&L for 2022, 23, and 24 for Win Enterprises. And these are the revenue and cost of goods sold and all of the operating expenses data for the last 3 years. And we're supposed to create the P&L for 2025. So the first step is going to be to create the revenue forecast. And we'll say the growth in 2023 was equals, open parenthesis, number of revenue in 2023 minus revenue in 2022, close parenthesis, divided by base year. And that's going to give us a number. We're going to make it in percentage format, 99%, almost doubling year over year. The growth was this year divided by the growth last year. That was 48%. And we'll say the revenue is going to be revenue from prior year times 1 plus open parenthesis, the growth from last year multiplied by the growth slowdown. We close the parenthesis and hit enter, and that's going to give us $99 million for 2025. We get 23% growth in revenue. The second approach that we will look at is the investor expectation. So in this case here, the investor expectation happens to be 30%. And our third factor, which is the market share or opportunity. So we'll plug in the 29% here, and the average is 27%. The revenue will be equal to prior year number multiplied by 1 plus this average number that we got here. So it's going to be 103 and 5,000. Okay, so now we have the revenue number for next year. So for cost of goods sold and operating expenses, we'll check the percentage of that amount from revenue. The cost of goods sold figure divided by revenue of that year, right? And let's format that as a percentage, and that is 54% for 2022. So now we have all these percentages. So we can say average equal average, these three figures. Let's format rather, and it's 53%. Let's drag that down. So now we have these figures. We can go ahead and calculate that change. Cost of goods sold is going to be equal to the revenue number that we just forecasted times the average percentage of revenue. Right, so it's going to be 54 million. For the non-operating expenses, we'll look at interest, which most likely is going to resemble the number that we had in the last year. But for depreciation, that's also going to most likely align with last year. And that's going to give us a net income or loss here of negative 42 million. So this is a quick way. You see, we started with revenue. Revenue is the most difficult number to forecast. You need to show some sound logic behind the way that you're forecasting it. And then we work our way into forecasting the other costs as a percentage of that revenue.